everyone, Miss Maria here. Before we get started on our chameleon drawing, I wanted to give you a few art time tips. Now at art time, our goal is to teach people how to draw. We hear people say the same thing all the time. I don't even know how to draw a stick figure, but that's not really true. Anybody can draw anything in the whole world if they learn how to break it down line by line. It's just like any sport or cooking or dance class you've ever taken. The more someone shows you how to do it and the more you practice, the better you get. So if you want to draw a flower, don't think about what a flower looks like. Go look at a flower. If you want to draw Spider-Man, don't try to remember what Spider-Man looks like. Go look at a picture of Spider-Man. I'm an art teacher, and if someone asked me to draw a horse out of my head, I would get so frustrated I would probably quit. So remember, you want to draw what you see, not what you think. And if you do that, well, you can prepare to be amazed. I hope y'all enjoy this chameleon drawing as much as I did. Have fun!
All right, now we're gonna start with a hint. A hint is what I always put on your paper for you when you get to art time. But since I'm not here to do it for you, you can either follow along and do it with me, or you could ask an adult to do it for you before you start drawing. I always do my hint in pencil so that just in case I make a mistake, I can erase it and fix it. So I'm gonna start with a pencil. I'm gonna find the middle of my paper. So I think the middle of my paper is about right here. Now I'm gonna scoot over to the right, and then I'm gonna scoot up. Right there is where I'm gonna put a circle. That's gonna be my first hint. Okay, now from this circle, I'm gonna scoot to the right. And right there, I'm gonna draw a slanted line. Now, the slanted line needs to go a little bit higher than my eye. So I'm gonna add on to it. And then I'm gonna do the other eye as my other hint. So the other eye is a little bit higher than this eye. So you don't want it way down here. You wanna scoot over till you touch this line and then scoot up. And that's where you're gonna do a little rainbow, which is the other eye. All right, now we're gonna put where our back is going to end because we wanna put that on our paper first before we start drawing. So I'm gonna start from my eye and I'm gonna scoot straight back all the way to about right here. And I'm gonna put a slanted line. All right, now we have our hint. So once we have our hint drawn and we like it, it looks good, we can go ahead and trace with our Sharpie. Now I'm gonna use black Sharpie, and you can use whatever you want. You could use a pen, or if you're doing this in color pencil, however you wanna color this, you can use whatever marker you have. I'm gonna use a Sharpie. So the first thing we do is we have to energize it. Take the top off, load it up, energize, blow it off. Okay, now my pen's ready to go. All right, here we go. Super slowly and carefully, I'm gonna trace my hint lines. All right, now I'm looking at a picture of a chameleon and I'm breaking it down line by line, and you're gonna follow me line by line. So you're only gonna draw what I draw. There's 3 rules at art time. Only draw what I draw, stay in the lines, and no snow in Mexico. We'll go over the other 2 lines when it's time to color. But for right now, you wanna really look. It's kind of like a game of Simon Says, but instead of Simon, it's me, Miss Maria, and instead of says, it's draws. Miss Maria draws. Whatever I draw, you draw. Got it? All right, here we go. Inside my eye, I'm gonna put a little smile, and that's gonna be the highlight. I'm gonna do it in both eyes. Now, I need to color the rest of the eye in black. So it's a very small eye. We have to go very careful. We don't want to leave any snow. No snow in Mexico. That means no white spots. And we want to stay in the lines. So I'm not coloring the smaller circle. I'm coloring the bigger part of the circle. Now I am really only moving my fingers when I'm coloring this. If I tried to color like this with my wrist, I would definitely get out of the lines because this is such a small little shape. So I'm really only moving my little fingers. All right, there we go. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a circle around my eye. I wanna stay pretty close to my eye, but try not to touch it. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna do the other eye. All right, now this eye is gonna have an even bigger circle around it. I'm not gonna do this one yet. I'm just gonna do this first one. So this big circle starts way up here and goes all the way around my eye. That's a big one. Okay, now I want to make sure my line's touching. Okay, perfect. Now, there's a little bit of like an eyebrow almost. So it starts right over where that big circle is, and it curves over and down, and then it curves in a little bit, but don't touch your eye. So now we have that little bit of a kind of like a eyebrow looking thing. I know it looks weird, but you just gotta trust me. It's gonna come out really cute. All right, on the top of the eye, there's a little detail. So coming off the back of this big, huge circle, I'm gonna do a little bit of like a smile. And coming off the front, I'm gonna do a little slanted line. Now from that slanted line along this circle all the way to the smile, I'm gonna trace over that again to make it a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna retrace all the way from my slanted line to my little smile. See how that just made it a little bit thicker? And now I kind of want to even this out, so I might even do it one more time. Okay, perfect. Now, I'm gonna keep going with this line. Now, as an artist, I always look at the picture and think 2 steps ahead. So if I tried to draw the top of the head before I had drawn this line, I would have had nowhere for it to touch. So you wanna think about that. That's why I drew that first, so that now I can come up and touch that line. All right, what you're gonna do is you're gonna start from the top of your hint, and you're gonna start curving back all the way to about right here. Now, once you get right there, you're gonna curve down and touch that little eyebrow line. Perfect. Okay, now we can go ahead and finish this eye. Right above my eye, I'm gonna do a little boop coming out. Now I'm gonna scoot down that line a little bit, scoot down my little boop, and I'm going to curve around and touch. Okay, then I'm gonna scoot up and I'm gonna do a little smile. And then I'm gonna rainbow and touch my eye. I know it's weird, just trust me. Okay, now, the next thing I'm gonna do is the cheek. The cheek is actually way back here and it touches my eye. So it's like a rainbow, comes up, touches my eye, and curves around. And then our mouth is actually gonna come back into that little rainbow. So I'm gonna put a little mini rainbow right at the bottom of that cheek. Now before I start smiling back with my eye, I need to curve this line down a little bit. So I'm gonna go to the end of my hint and I'm gonna slowly curve that line down just a little bit. And now from the end of that curve down, I'm gonna smile all the way back until I touch right in the middle of that little mini rainbow that we did. Perfect. All right, we're gonna draw the nostril. Right here, I'm gonna do a little, kind of looks like a little mini candy cane. Draw a little bitty candy cane. Now I'm gonna do his back. Actually, no, let me finish the bottom of the mouth so it can actually open its mouth. Right now it's like, you can't talk. All right, let's give him the bottom of his mouth. I'm gonna start right at where we started the mouth. I'm gonna scoop back just a tiny bit, and I'm gonna do another smile right underneath my mouth that stops right there. Now I'm just gonna let that sit for a second, and I'm gonna draw his back. The back is gonna start right where the top of the head and the eyebrow touch. So right here. We're not going straight back to our hint, but we are gonna eventually touch that hint. His back is more of a rainbow to your hint. So I'm gonna start right here where these lines touch, and I'm gonna start with just a line coming up. Now I want you to look at your hint line and kind of imagine how you're gonna draw this line before you do it. Because if you just go straight over, he's gonna have a flat back. You wanna keep this line going up a little bit like a rainbow, and then curve and touch your hint. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna start drawing his legs. Remember this bottom of the mouth that we drew? We need to make that a little bit longer because that's where his first leg's gonna come out. So I'm gonna start by doing a little bit of a curve. Slight rainbow. That means just a little bit of a rainbow. You don't want it to be huge. You just want it to be a slight rainbow. And then I'm going to keep that line going back just a little bit further and stop. Our first leg is going to come out right underneath my mouth. So right where that little baby rainbow was, if you scoot down from there, you can do a slanted line out. All right, at the end of my slanted line, I'm gonna come down just a tiny bit. And then I'm gonna go out and down. Now these are the toes. I'm gonna come in just a little bit. And my next one's gonna start way up here. It's gonna cross over that line and curve around. Then I'm gonna come up and down. All right, last toe. Smile. Up, 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 up. Don't touch. And from here, I'm gonna come all the way back to my chameleon. Now, we don't wanna go straight up to our chameleon. Watch me, the end of my line is gonna kind of smile up and touch. So watch me draw it first. I'm gonna come back, smile up, and touch. Perfect, we have his first little foot. All right, 2 more to go. And the last one, we can only see a little bit of it poking out back here. So we're not gonna do that one yet. Okay, the next foot is about right here, right behind this line. So I'm gonna start with a line inside the body that comes over, down, touches the body, and keeps going a little bit. Then I'm gonna curve in just a tiny bit at the end of that line. Now I'm gonna go back up to where I ended the line, not where I ended that tiny little line. I'm gonna scoot up that line a little bit and I'm gonna come out. All right, this is my first toe. Smile up. Now I'm gonna do a tiny little rainbow and go down. All right, smile up. And this one's gonna come in, but it doesn't touch. All right, one more toe. This toe, I'm gonna start it touching this toe. So right from the bottom of this toe, I just have to do my smile. And then come in and stop. Now I'm going to do the other side of the arm. Or the leg, sorry. So here we go. I'm going to start with a little slanted line. Then I'm going to come up and I'm going to actually go past my line on the right. And I'm going to do a rainbow all the way over this way. Good job. Now, coming off of that line that we just drew, I'm going to do another little rainbow. Now, we need to do the bottom part of this section of his leg. So I'm going to start from that first line that we drew when we started this leg. I'm going to start on there, not at the tippy top. I'm going to start about right here, and I'm going to slant over and then smile up. My gosh, she's coming out so cute. All right, here we go. Let's do the next leg. All right, now we need to keep the body going back, but do we want to draw the body through this leg? No, because his leg's not see-through, right? We can't see through it. So if you want to keep the body going back, you have to jump over his leg. And I'm only going to do a very small line, but Sharpies love to jump. They think it's really fun. So if you put your marker or any marker or colored pencil, they love to jump. So if you put it right here where it's touching the leg, and then you jump over it, woohoo! And then you keep it going back with just a tiny little line. All right, now we can draw the back leg. I'm gonna do the back leg the same way that I did the front leg, where I start with the top and then I do the toes. But this leg is going back the opposite way. It's not coming forward like this one, so really watch. I'm gonna start right here and I'm gonna do a line that's slanted and it crosses right over that little belly that we just drew. Then at the very end of the line, I'm going to do a little slant in. All right, now I'm going to start my toes. My toes are going to start on that line that we just drew. It's going to come over and curve down, and it's going to touch my other toe. All right. Now I'm going to scoot down this toe and I'm going to do a line coming up. So this toe is behind that toe. We can't see the end of it. That's why we have it like that. All right, so I'm going to jump down to the bottom of this toe and I'm going to do another little smile, and this one's going to come up. Then a tiny little rainbow, and I'm going to go back. Then I'm gonna rainbow. Now, I need to connect this to the other side of the leg, which I haven't drawn yet. So remember, we're always thinking a step ahead. I'm gonna draw the other side of the leg before I finish that toe. I'm gonna start right up here, a little bit shorter than this line, across from it, right here, and I'm gonna come down and curve in a tiny bit, but it's not touching this other line. Now I have something that I can connect this toe to. So I'm going to come up, over, and touch that leg. All right, let's finish this leg off. I'm going to start right from the right side of the leg. So from the top of this line, and I'm going to rainbow. Then I'm going to keep that line going back, back, back. I'm going to do a little mini rainbow coming off of it. Boop. Now, remember this other side of the leg that we did? We're going to do another line coming off of that line. So I'm going to scoot down a little bit. I'm going to come down and smile. So it's kind of like this leg, but it's the opposite way. It's coming from the opposite direction, as this leg went forward and this leg went back. All right, now as you can tell, we need a little bit more of the belly. So are we going to draw through this leg? No, because it's not see-through. So we're going to have to jump again. Ooh, my Sharpie's excited. It gets to jump. It loves to jump. All right, I'm going to start right where the belly touches his leg. Jump over. and go right underneath my other leg and stop. Yay! Now we're gonna do the tail, and then all we'll have to do is add that back leg and we'll be finished. We can start coloring. Okay, my tail, I want to start, instead of starting from this bottom line, I'm gonna start from my top line. So right where we connected the back, from the bottom of that hint, I'm gonna have this line come really low down and stop. So look how far past my feet I went. I went pretty far down. Now I can kind of smile and come back up. And I'm gonna actually touch this toe with a rainbow. So I'm gonna come up, touch that toe, and then rainbow. All right, now I'm gonna smile. And one more rainbow. Rainbow. Okay. Now we have to do a smile, a little smile. Boop. And I'm going to do a little rainbow. Boop. And I'm going to do a smile. And a rainbow. And a smile. Okay, that was kind of hard. Now I can go from this line, the bottom of my belly, all the way down to this tail. Curve down and touch. Yay, we did the tail. I think that might have been the hardest part. All right, we're gonna do this back little leg popping out right here. Right above your hint, you're gonna scoot up. If you know where your hint was, find where that hint was. Remember, it was right across from your eye. And you're gonna scoot up a little bit, and you're just gonna do a rainbow, and then go straight down. And right in the middle of that rainbow, I'm gonna do a little line coming up. And there you have it. We have an awesome chameleon drawing, and now we get to color. Woohoo! Okay, now I am going to use Sharpies to color this, and I'm going to teach you how to blend. So we're going to start with green, and we're going to make our way back to blue and pink and red and yellow, and we're going to keep going through the colors all the way to the end of this tail. It's going to be really fun to color. Now, for the older kids, if you want to blend darks and lights and add enhancements to it, I'm going to do all of that when I'm done coloring it. So for the younger kids, I'm going to go ahead and just color the whole thing solid colors. And then once I'm done, I'll go back and teach. If you want to keep watching and you want to add some enhancements to it, shadows and highlights, I'm going to teach you how to do that. But that's not going to be till the end. All right, the first color I'm going to start with is going to be green. And I am going to color around the eyes. Now, the circle that goes right around the black is going to stay white. Think about your eye. You have the black part and the colorful part, and then around that, what color is it? White, right. So that little circle that I drew going around my eye, that's going to stay white. But the really big one is going to be green. Now, remember how we color at art time. We don't use our arm, we don't use our wrist, we only use our fingers. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Perfect. Now we're going to color the rest of the head. Where it stops, we don't want it to be a perfect straight line. And it's going to blend back into our blue. So instead of putting a straight line right there where our green's going to stop, I'm going to put what I call a kooky line. So right from the bottom of this eyebrow to the belly, I'm going to put a kooky line back and forth all the way down. Now, everything from that kooky line over, besides the circles around the eyes, is going to be green. All right, now that I finished coloring my green, I'm gonna start on my blue. Now I'm gonna teach you how to blend colors. I'm gonna take my blue and I'm gonna use a little bit of a lighter blue. This is a darker blue color that Sharpie has. I'm gonna use this lighter blue. Now, when you blend with the two colors into each other, you never wanna go up and down, because think about it this way. If you go up and down next to each other, they have no way to blend into each other. Now, if you go into each other like this, then they can blend easier, okay? So it makes it a lot easier to blend if you have your color going into each other versus right next to each other. So instead of going up and down, right where they touch, I'm gonna go side to side, and I want them to overlap right where they touch. So I went into my green a little bit, right there where they touch. See how I did that? With a kooky line. Now I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna go back to my green. And I'm gonna go over where they touch with my green. And then I'm gonna go back to my blue. I'm gonna go over where they touch with my blue. All right, now see how we don't have a perfect line going in between my colors? It almost looks like it blends from green to blue. I just think that's so cool. I love how that happens. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and color my blue now. My blue is gonna go all the way. Oh man, I just messed up. Bummer. That's okay. If you do that, it's okay. Maybe I'll figure out something to put behind my chameleon later to try to blend that in, like a leaf or something. All right, sorry, where was I? The blue. The blue's gonna end from this leg going all the way up. So coming out of this leg, I'm gonna put a kooky line. Remember, I want it to be back and forth so that the next color that I use blends in with it. It's gonna go right to the top of that leg. I'm actually gonna color this whole leg and this whole leg blue. So everything from my kooky line over to the head, this leg, this little part of the belly, and this leg are gonna be blue. Okay, now that I've finished my blue, I'm gonna start with purple. So I'm gonna take my purple and I'm gonna go right along where my blue and my purple touch with a kooky line. Then I'm gonna switch back to my blue. And I am gonna go over this line where they touch. Now, at first you might be thinking, that is never gonna blend. But if you keep going over and over and over, it will eventually blend. It's really, really, really cool. But it does take some patience. Isn't that awesome? Sometimes when you blend a lot, it kind of makes this look like it needs another coat. So you could always go back and add a second coat on this color if you wanted to. All right, now I'm gonna go back with my purple. My purple's not gonna go into this back leg because this back leg's gonna be whatever color is right here on the body. So it's bending in front of this part of the body. So we're gonna make it whatever color's right here we're gonna have going into the leg. So I'm gonna take my purple back. Now my purple is there's not that much purple. So I'm just gonna do a little stripe of purple around this leg. And I'm gonna do this section purple in between my two legs. All right, remember the end of your purple needs to be kooky. It's very important for this to be kooky so that it can blend with my next color. And my next color is going to be pink. I'm going to take my pink and go right over where it touches the purple. All right, now, because that purple is so dark, it's not blending as well as I would want it to. The better solution to that would have been if I had gone back with my darker pink. It probably would have blended with my purple a lot better. But that still looks good. I'm gonna bring this pink back a little bit. And the next color I'm going to use is going to be red. So with my red, I'm gonna come into my pink. Ooh, I can already tell these are gonna blend good. I'm gonna do this whole leg red. And my red's gonna come down my tail a little bit. Oh, this back leg should be red too. All right, I'm going back to my pink. And I'm gonna blend right where this red and pink touch, which isn't gonna take much. Look at that, that was blended so easily. Awesome. All right, after my red, I'm gonna use orange. Now I have this light orange, but I really think that that's not gonna blend with this dark red as well. I learned my lesson from my pink and my purple. So I'm gonna start with a little bit of a darker orange. All right, now that blended really good too. Now if you don't have a light orange, you don't have to use light orange. I'm gonna go ahead and do light orange underneath my dark orange and then blend into yellow. Remember, wherever you're gonna blend, it needs to be kooky. You don't want it to be a straight line. I'm gonna move on to some yellow. Now, when I'm done with my yellow, I'm actually gonna start over and I'm gonna go back to green. And then until I get to the tail, I'm gonna keep going with my colors until I run out of room. So I'm gonna go back to my green and I'm gonna blend it with the yellow. Now that I have this little bit of tail left, I'm going to try out that darker pink that I have that I didn't get to use up here. So I'm going to try this darker pink, not that pink, and see if it blends better with this purple. I think it will. Yeah, see, that blended good. And then I can use that lighter pink blending with the darker pink, and I think that'll work better. Perfect. I'm actually going to go a little bit more into this one. And there you have it. We have our awesome chameleon drawn. Now, you can be finished just like that. I'm going to make another video showing you how you can enhance it with darks and lights and how to fix little mistakes if you make them like I did right there. I always try to think of ways to make something look like it's in the background or, anything, how to fix a mistake. But if you finished it and this is how you like it and you want to leave it just like that, the last thing we always do is sign our artwork. So you're going to go back to your black Sharpie and at the very bottom of your paper, small and neat, you're going to write your name. And on this side, you're going to write 2020. Great job. I had so much fun coloring that with all those different colors. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And for anybody who wants to keep enhancing it, you can view the other video that I posted about enhancing on top of marker and how to blend with Sharpies for your darks and lights.
I love seeing everyone's artwork. To share your art, you can email me at arttime@att.net or post it on Facebook and tag Art Time. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you're notified when I post new videos. Until then, remember, if you draw what you see and not what you think, you can prepare to be amazed.